If you're thinking about adding monthly memberships to your services just because a post went viral, you might want to listen to this before you do. Let me save you some time and some headaches and probably make you some money if you stay to the end. First, let's start off with a quick SWOT analysis. It's a good way to evaluate the pros and cons of a situation. Let's talk about the strengths. So if you're a barber, what's the strength of adding a monthly membership to your offerings? For one, is steady income, at least on paper. If you have somebody subscribe to you because they have a membership, on paper, they're more likely to come and redeem what they spent their money on for sure. Which leads me to the second part, is it makes people feel like they're a part of something, similar to people using Netflix because they have the subscription and it's right there in their face. It's almost like a subtle reminder when they get that bill that gets deducted from their checking account every month. It's almost like a hint to make sure that they book their appointments for sure. And last but not least is that it can boost loyalty. If you're having issues with people staying loyal to just you and not jumping around and seeing different barbers from here and there, if they have a standing monthly membership, yeah, they're going to make sure that they spend their money with you. All right, so let's break down the weaknesses. Number one is you're locking in discounts on your most valuable time slots. The reality is that if somebody's prepaid you for the entire month, they're going to want to come during prime time. And that's a weakness because it doesn't allow you to take new clients who normally want to come during prime time. Now, the second weakness is that you're kind of taking things back to the old school and managing your system yourself. And a lot of those systems have like a membership feature where it will allow you to sign people up. On the surface level, this feels like it'll be doing the work for you. But the reality is that it's almost as if you're going back to writing all your appointments down inside of your notebook. People are going to make adjustments. They're going to need some last minute haircuts. They're going to cancel last minute. People are going to charge back for their memberships as well. Instead of you having to just worry about what's on your schedule and taking payments one at a time, you're going to need to manage a separate group of people, which is kind of like having another person on your staff. If you're not willing to hire somebody to do that for you, that's a new job for you. So just know what you're signing yourself up for. Now, this last weakness is probably going to hurt some feelings, but you start attracting more clients who just want a discount, which means that when it comes to them staying loyal to you, they're more loyal to the discount. And if they see a better deal, more than likely they're going to at least entertain it, no matter how dope you are as a barber. You see, different people value different things. There's no amount of dope enhancements or elite work that can keep them, especially if you're thinking about doing a price increase if your situation changes. Side note, price increases with somebody that's already getting a discount only brings them back up to the same level as everybody else, but we'll say that for another conversation. Let's talk about opportunities. This is really great for new barbers. If you're looking to stabilize your income as a brand new barber, you're fresh out of barber school, you're looking for a way to bring some consistency and to get your reps up, absolutely. Your price point shouldn't be that crazy anyway as a new barber. So a membership for somebody brand new makes sense because it'll keep your weekends busy, which will bring you more traffic, right? As a new barber, people want to see that you can cut and they want to see that you're busy. Nobody really wants to go to that one barber that's sitting around on the shop on a Friday. The second opportunity. This might be a good thing to introduce for kids, more for your triple OG elderly clients. So the reality is that the pricing point that barbers charge now is uncomfortable for a lot of people. That makes sense, especially if you're not really like that as a barber. But besides all that, sometimes parents have multiple kids and it could be tough to pay for multiple $50 haircuts. I get it. I got 3 kids myself. So this could be a good way to package those haircuts up if you structure it right and to offer a separate option for a discounted rate for parents who have multiple kids or for their son to come on a more regular basis at a lower price. Preferably earlier in the week off of your busier, more higher in demand hours. And that leads me to the third opportunity, which is I wouldn't do it outside of a Tuesday and Wednesday. It just doesn't make sense to discount your busier day. Doing it like that is kind of like Beyonce putting her front row tickets on sale. That just doesn't make sense, right? Those are the most in-demand seats. So why would you discount those? It doesn't add up. The math ain't mathing. So let's get into the threats real quick. Just because something went viral doesn't mean it's going to work for you in your specific situation. I just want you to be aware that with this particular post that I'm referring to, it worked for one barber in one particular city. And I still don't know exactly who this barber is. So you need to do your research and probably reach out to him to see how this has worked out for him long term. And that's the key, is this isn't a long-term play. If you're worried about trying to book yourself up through monthly memberships, you're really thinking short term. Long term is the play because you want to build a career, not just have a busy month. Second threat that I see is a trade that I think a lot of barbers aren't really seeing, which is you're trading flexibility for predictability. A lot of barbers come to this industry looking for flexibility. So once you made this commitment to lock it in, let's just say 25 people, You now work for those 25 people. You need to be there when they want you there. Again, they all prepaid you for this membership. The second part of that one is that you end up overbooked, which can be a good thing, but you're underpaid. You'll be booked up potentially with a whole bunch of membership clients who, if you use that example that is in that post, you're giving them about a 35 to 40% discount. So you're really busy for a really low price. And the last threat that I see is you spend more time managing clients than cutting hair. This is going to be a job for you. So either you can hire somebody to do it, maybe use AI in some way to do this for you, but just because they prepaid doesn't mean they're not going to need flexibility. What happens when somebody charges back? What happens when somebody cancels? What happens when it's a holiday weekend and you have 5 clients who prepaid you and they can't get in? You're just going to have to stick it out and stay later, right? So again, if you're into that cutting all day and night life, salute to you. All right, so here's part 2, which is the truth, because there's a lot of things that go unsaid with these type of viral posts. The first thing is to let you know that viral posts aren't necessarily a business model. They're just bait, meant to get more engagement. That post was structured in a way to get high engagement, not necessarily to give you the best business model for you and your family. So just keep that in mind. It's content, not a structure for your business. The next truth is just because someone pays for a month does not mean they're locked into you, that they're going to be loyal. I mean, let's think about it like this, y'all. Either you own a home, you rent an apartment for a year lease, or you're doing month to month, either in an Airbnb or an apartment complex. Which one of those 3 are more likely to move and to change the situation? Month to month. So it's not like because somebody pays you month to month, you're going to retain them over a long period of time. They can say, you know what, it was cool. Those 4 weeks were good, but I learned that it's time for me to go find the next cheaper deal. So now you're chasing payments. If somebody defaults on a payment, now you're playing bill collector on about 25 to 30 people. Now you have to fight with your bank about disputes. You're going to have people that's going to scam. Scammers are going to scam. Now you're doing all this managing on the back end while still trying to post dope content, trying to perform an elite haircut. It can get messy. The next threat is for a barber who's considering this, who already has some consistent flow on the weekend. If you're booked up on a Friday or Saturday on a regular basis, why are you willing to sell your prime real estate at a discounted price? It just doesn't make sense to me. I get it. You want to give back, and there's ways to do that. You can provide back to school haircuts. Hell, Barber's Heart is coming up with one soon, so make sure you tap in to do that. But as far as your normal income, your schedule is your paycheck. And the most prime real estate for your schedule are Fridays and Saturdays. And don't forget, if somebody locks in a monthly reoccurring spot with you and that they prepay for, they're going to want prime real estate. All right, so what's a better play? Instead of managing 20 to 30 people month to month, trying your best to not go crazy, what if you locked in just 3 to 5 clients for the entire year? That's the exact play that I did over the last 5 years or so. That's helped me to stabilize my income, especially during the slower days and the slower seasons. So I was able to lock in just a handful of clients who were able to pay me on average about $2,800 because they saw the value in me as their long-term barber. And again, this isn't month to month. This is me getting a payment for the entire year. You may be thinking, damn, Mike, well, what happens if they do a chargeback, or what happens if somebody moves? Great question. That's why you're only doing it for a handful, y'all. You only do it for a few clients, the ones who you know you're locked in with. Those are the ones that deserve a discount. Those are the ones that deserve options for them to lock in with you because they've committed to you long term. That's a great way for you to pretty much be your own bank and to help finance either running ads, a quick improvement to the barbershop, or just some peace of mind when you go through slower seasons. So consider that as a way to do memberships without having to sacrifice your sanity. Now, that play is a part of the full model that I teach in my mastermind, where I show barbers how to grow their business without having to go viral on social media. It's not only worked for me in a big city, but it's worked for barbers in a small town too. The reality is that people pay for what matters to them, and you can be their priority if you position yourself the right way. So if this hits different, then yeah, I got something coming up to give you more information, or if you just want some more help on implementing something like this, I can be a resource for you. Tap in. I got an upcoming event as I open up my second location using this same business model. Comment Amplify under this page, and I'll send you more information on exactly how to make this work in your local community.